Hi guys, if you're wondering why Labour have made such stupid mistakes and are suffering as a result of that, well, it's partly down to this guy, Lord Glasman, and Blue Labour. Now you're probably wondering, what the hell is Blue Labour? Isn't the official colour of Labour red? Well, there's actually a faction within the Labour Party on the right who probably should be in the Conservative Party. They support stuff like Brexit, they support cuts to benefits, and leaving the European Convention on Human Rights because of immigration. Now, Lord Glasman here was interviewed about this, and I believe this is why Labour are doing so badly. Have a listen.
The issue is that my party has for years and years and years considered any criticism of immigration to be racist, to be fundamentally wrong, and so you've got an absolute misalignment between the deep concerns of communities and government. And this is where we are going into a hot summer.
Let's come to the underlying issues in a moment. But I suppose ministers would say, look, we're doing deals with the French. We are doing some deals to do third-party processing. We are getting into a place where we can, stop boats being shipped out of Germany and so on. We are acting, and it is unfair to put this on us.
Well, the number of people arriving on the boats is going up. That's just for the first idea. So obviously what they're doing isn't working. The second is the mismatch between the rhetoric and the reality. The Prime Minister says it's a national security issue. So why not put the Royal Navy in the Channel? Why not stop the boats?
Put the Royal Navy in the Channel to do what? We've mentioned this before. What would the Royal Navy do? How would they stop the boats? Probably, according to this guy, well, they would turn them back. Yes, and this would result in people dying. The job of the Navy is to protect the nation, not to sink small boats carrying civilians. This is ridiculous. This is the same sort of rhetoric we're hearing from Farage and Reform UK. I don't know why this guy hasn't jumped ship already.
If it's a national security issue, we're a sovereign nation. The people have made their views known in a democracy. Why are we so weak in relation to the French? Why can't the French control their own border? What's the issue here? Macron came over last week. I saw him in the Lords. And he was talking about, it's the incentives of a cash economy. He was talking about the grey economy and the cash economy. Now, what we had last time was the Conservatives got in 2019. Do you remember that? You won a huge majority, and you said you were going to take back control. And what did you do? 1 million migrants a year and no control of the boats. This is why your party has completely lost the trust of the people. They were given a mandate to do something, and you didn't do it.
What I'm saying is the same.
But the same fate is awaiting Labour unless it acts. This is the point I'm making. I'm not saying that we're not sinners. I'm just saying you blew it, and we are blowing it in real time.
And the advantage here is for, you say, Mr. Farage. It's pretty clear that the Cabinet is worried about this, isn't it?
It's very worried. I mean, the point is, in order to make the proper argument against reform of Farage, he's got to be exposed as a slim-ball Thatcherite, which you would sympathise with, and a Putin appeaser. I mean, we've got to build up the strength of the armed forces.
This is why we keep hearing Labour attacking Farage as being a Putin appeaser. I didn't understand why they were using this line. At the beginning of the war in Ukraine, that line would land, that attack line would land, but now it seems outdated. People don't really care about being a Putin appeaser. They care about the cost of living crisis. They care about the NHS. They care about schools. They care about infrastructure. They care about jobs. They care about the economy. I really didn't understand. So this is probably where this line is coming from. This guy keeps saying, you need to talk more about Putin. People don't care about Putin at this stage when it comes to the normal troubles they face in their lives. This is why Labour are losing support, because they're focusing on things that people don't really care about. And they did at one stage. And of course, a lot of people care about whatever connections Nigel Farage has to Putin. But they prioritise other things. My goodness, this guy is advising the Labour Party, it seems.
We've got to have an industrial strategy, and we've got to have a very clear idea about state reform and to honour the integrity of communities. What the MP was distressed about there is that his lovely Epping is now very, very anxious with the potential for violence, and it's extremely disturbing. This is the point. So it's really time not for process. I mean, I would argue really strongly that we've got to get out of the European Court of Human Rights. We've got to scrap the Human Rights Act. We've got to have effective political action.
Oh, God. We need to get out of the European Convention on Human Rights. Exactly what Farage has been saying. Exactly what the far right within the Conservative Party have been saying. The Robert Jennerichs of this world. What value does this guy's advice have for Labour? Why is Keir Starmer listening to this guy? Why is Morgan McSweeney listening to this guy? What value does Blue Labour have? All they are is Tories, basically. Why are they in the Labour Party? What do they bring to the table? They're undermining the government. They're saying you need to focus on immigration. Keep focusing on immigration. Keep focusing on Farage. Keep focusing. Pander to the far right. You need to sell them something to win back. No, it doesn't work like that. I keep saying, and other commentators keep saying, you can't out Farage. Because the Tories tried it. And how did that work out for them? They said, what we're going to do is we're going to bring down immigration. We're going to put a cap. We're going to do all these things in order to pander to Farage. And did it work? No. They lost because people on the right, people who are concerned about immigration, voted for somebody else. And Farage was saying, I will bring down the numbers. The Tories said that they would, and they failed. And this guy is suggesting that Labour need to do exactly what the Tories were doing when it comes to immigration. And what's going to happen? People are going to vote for Farage. And then, of course, he's going to turn around after and say, well, see, you weren't hard enough on immigration. It's absolutely ridiculous. This is going to sink the Labour Party.
Not process, procedure. What is this one in, one out thing with France? I don't get it. What is this, a supermarket deal?
The problem that you've got there, Maurice, is that the Labour Party's mainstream position wouldn't probably agree with you. Is the problem here that you're identifying, that you think that there is a gap between the Labour government and, if you like, the body of Labour voters, the Labour tribe, on this specific question of immigration, of where asylum seekers should be, and that actually the traditional Labour vote is way, let's call it, to the right or socially conservative than the government?
Yeah, I mean, this has been building, Trevor, throughout your life. I mean, my phrase for this is the people are sick and tired of rule by the lanyard class, who try to control your speech, control your actions, who don't want you to laugh at anything. They want a completely humourless world. And there's an insurrection going on against that class. Now, it's not the case that is true for a lot of Labour MPs who are in constituencies, and the brutal reality is with less than 3,000 majority and with Reform in second place, believe me, the conversation is very real. On what you said earlier, I don't think the cabinet meeting should be briefed or leaked. But the rupture between the working class and Labour is very,
It was,
very
by the way, an
real.
official briefing, we're told.
Yeah.
The Angela Rayner quote that says, this is... there's potential for further unrest because of poverty, deprivation, anxieties about this issue. Apparently, we're told it's community cohesion.
Yeah. Well, this word community cohesion is a concealing word. There's a lack of solidarity. There's a lack of friendship. There's a lack of genuine fellow feeling going on. And it's driven by the Deliveroo economy, which you pioneered so greatly, where you bring in migrants in order to deliver food to people who've forgotten how to cook. You know, that's one aspect of it.
Oh, my goodness. This guy is advising the Labour Party, it seems. And his whole thing is immigration. We need to focus on immigration. We need to focus on asylum seekers, people on Deliveroo bikes. Is this, once again, the reason why the Labour government said what we're going to do is we're going to do a lot of videos of people being arrested who were working in the black economy? Let's not focus on the business owners. Let's focus on the migrants who are doing these jobs because they're not allowed to work. They have to work in the black economy in order to earn money because they're not allowed to work. If you allow them to work, but we've been down this road before. What Labour need to do, they're not going to listen to me, they prefer to listen to this guy. What they need to do is they need to improve the economy for ordinary people. They need to fund public services. They need to open more police stations. They need to open more services for the public. They need to improve the relationship between the police and the community to help prevent crime. They need to invest in public services. They have a mountain of a task. But focusing on Farage and focusing on immigration and focusing on asylum seekers is not going to help you. It didn't help. Look at what happened with the Tories. If you follow the Tories, you're going to follow them to a disaster. And you're going to help Farage. The way to defeat Farage is to grow the economy, improve the lives of ordinary people, convince them that they have something to lose if they don't vote for you. At the moment, you're doing a terrible job of that. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.